Now then, people, good evening and welcome back to the Just Joe football show. Sorry, Luke, let me move you, mate. We don't want you hiding behind there, do we, bro? Not when you've just had a nice clean wash and that, looking smooth as, looking smooth. It's another episode of The Final Word. We've got a full house with us. The Wanderer returns as well. Andrea, pretending to be ill for the last few weeks, and that has been no wrong with him, man. I'm joking, of course. Andrea's back with us. Jack's in the house. Luke's just had a wash, and Lockie's looking slick as in his Leeds United drill top. So, what a panel, as Mike says. Great panel tonight. It sure is. Great panel. Yeah, everyone agrees. It is. It's a go-to panel. MVG says, congratulations on the coaching license, Lockie. Don't come at me if we weren't supposed to know. Joe spilled the beans. Yeah, that's my apologies. I mean, he did the first part, didn't
yeah. Two more parts to go yet.
2 more parts to go. You lace them as well, bro. And then before you know it, we'll all be like, oh, Lockie's coach now at Leeds, and we can pretend to be our teacher. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then we're all saying it. Two more parts to go. 2 more parts to 0.
And Joe be sliding off on you.
15 points.
Yeah, man. He's a fucking knob. 2 words, curry pizza. Yeah, Andrea, while you've been away, did you hear about this?
No, I deserve that. Honestly, I deserve to hear that now.
Yeah.
I've been away.
Boys, I had on a watch along a chicken madras pizza. It was banging, man. Actual chicken madras on a pizza. Honestly, it was banging. Yeah. Anyway, so everyone kept saying that, wait till Andrea hears about this. So yeah, there he is. Right. Let's get Luke. We're going to come with you first and foremost, mate, because we haven't seen you for a few weeks and we've missed you. Leeds United are cooking on gas. Another easy, comfortable win. To be honest, I was quite surprised how comfortable it was. Pirro was quality. Aaronson was quality. All the people we all love. So I seen you ready, man. I seen you ready on Twitter. I love it, me, bro. I just love it.
As soon as we got back,
mate, you must be bouncing. Go on.
Yeah,
did you go to the game?
Back, yeah, I took my daughter with me last night.
Okay, the atmosphere sounded crazy as well last night.
Yeah, it was back to its best last night, and for a Tuesday night game, you know, they weren't serving beer either in the stadium. So for to get that sort of atmosphere, it takes some doing. Really, really good atmosphere. Really enjoyed it. Pretty surprising. I know they've not been in a great vein of form recently, and as haven't Watford, but they were probably arguably the best team to come to Ellen Road this season, I would say, or to actually come and play football, shall we say? Anyway, and we cleverly made it difficult for us early on in the season, and I expected the same result again. I expected a Leeds narrow win, and for us just to go. I mean, we've got to be honest. A couple of the goals came from their mistakes. Certainly the first, and on another day we probably could have scored 2 or 3 more as well. So I think it probably was on the balance of play, probably about the right scoreline. But yeah, I was really surprised how easy it was and how poor we made them look naturally. It's nice to see this cutting edge that we've got now, and I think the difference between a FARC Leeds team first half of the season and the majority of last, in comparison to what we're seeing this second half, is that he's giving them that license and that that bit more of a roam and they're allowed to go and carry on attacking rather than just pass it around between the centre backs and but have another go at them. Let's really put them to the sword, and it's good to see. And these people who are saying FARC's tactically inept have all of a sudden gone really quiet, and it's really good to see.
I even saw the lad who did the Pirro compilation backtracking last night. I don't know if you've seen that. He quote tweeted his own tweet saying, "Oh, he's such a sometimes he's really good, and sometimes I think he might work in Premier now." And think, stop moonwalking, mate. You've fucked it. You're done.
Always times to make amends. There's always time to make amends.
You're being too nice, Andrea.
Always time to make amends and jump aboard the ship HMS. And I'm gonna say the rest because I am.
Yeah, you are very superstitious. Let's continue, because obviously we've not heard from Luke from a while. We haven't heard from you in even longer, I don't think, Andre. You've been poorly, first and foremost. You better now? You well?
Yeah. No, better.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Talk to me about
I'm
Leeds, though. You've missed a lot. We've been amazing, mate. We scored 18 goals without reply. It's insane what we're watching right now.
Well, I have to say they helped me, especially during the week. When I was sick, honestly, especially the 7-0 was honestly, it got a spark in my eyes watching that team now that had been gone for, probably since Bielsa left, honestly, to be fair. Because right now we go into games and you watch that kind of performance, and you see, oh, what are we going to create today? What are we gonna how we're gonna play them off the park today? Honestly, because something can happen, but the way I like football, not just 1v1s, dribblings, going past defenders. The chances and the goals are created by teamwork, and that's the most beautiful thing that you can see in football. Honestly, right now it's a completely I said on an Insta story, today. Orchestra. It was a proper orchestra, honestly. Everybody knows what they need to do. Everybody plays in a specific way. They're in that position, the way Farke wants them to play. They all move on with and without the ball, because you see that we always have multiple options when we have the ball. And we're chameleontic, because we can play in possession when they're sitting back, or we can invite them into an own half like we did yesterday quite a few times against Watford. And then with just one pass, get the ball to Aaronson, sprint, and then it's like 3 against 4, always an opportunity to go central, to go to the wingers. So absolutely, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant moment to be a Leeds fan, honestly, recently. My only worry, and it's not a worry actually, is like, the thought that you have in the back of your mind, last season too, we were great in this period. Then we felt off after the international break. So we need to get some results, because when you're on a good run, on a great run, everybody's going together. We're flying. There's a feel-good factor around the place. Everything is similar to last season. Then the international break arrived. The Welsh lads were shattered. Some players had some minor injuries, Farke worked with a depleted squad during the international break. We returned at Watford actually too. And we know how the season went. So absolutely. This season, however, I have a feeling that it will repeat itself, history, but you can never know with Leeds. Many times in the past, the illusion was there, the dream was there, then like in the playoffs, everything went into pieces, But this season, I don't think it will go that way. I think we go up if we keep playing this way, and we are more mature. That's for sure compared to last season.
Yeah, I can't let you pour water on this fire that's burning within me at the minute, Andrea the man. Unfortunately, I can't. For me right now, Leeds United are breaking records that have stood since the 70s. That were there with Dom Revie. I think this team it's a different level. I think Watford go and get a point at Stadium of Light. It's a tough game. They almost beat them. We go to their place and we make them look so ordinary. They don't even, at times, that fourth goal, you mentioned it, orchestra, poetry in motion, Farke called it. Where Tanaka does the pirouette round Tom Ince, and then it goes into Solomon, and then it's different, and then Pollock goes sliding on his arse, and you just think, hang on a minute, we're just far too good. I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility that we could have easily. I mean, we've scored 12 in 3 games without conceding in the league. It could have easily been 20, and that's 8 more goals. It genuinely could have easily been 20 if we're being honest. A few more drop in the right place, or we're more clinical. So, look, true test next Monday and the Monday after. You've got Sheffield United and Sunderland coming up. Then we can, be a little bit more, maybe bullish. But I understand where you're coming from. I'm not everyone's different, aren't they? A lot of people are still nervous and see results tonight, and had a few in the chat saying, "Oh, see, it's not done yet." And it's like, well, look, we probably expected them to win. It is what it is, but we've just got to keep knocking our wins off. Jack, I mean, you must have been bouncing as well, mate. What a performance! What a result! How good we look. Yeah, even the 11 as well. The 11 that he picks, they're just levels. I think Aaronson had a great game last night as well, which was great to see.
Yeah, man, we're on the Farker charge now. I feel like I agree with Andrea to an extent with the run we're on. We do need to obviously keep going, and it is similar to what happened last year. But I feel as though it's slightly different. I don't know whether it's just me that's I've been waiting for us to kick in like this. And I felt like we did that a lot earlier in the season. I know we've gone on a brilliant run here, but it's the past 3 games that's felt like this is when we was at our absolute best last year, and then we tailed off. I feel like we're just actually hitting, even though we've been on a mint run, we are now kicking into like total dominance in games. I really enjoyed the fact that they had a lot of the ball yesterday and they were the architect to their own downfall. I don't think that's a bad thing. And it sounds ridiculous, but just at times, if we are struggling to break teams down, let them have ball back for a bit, because nobody can play through us. We all talk about Sheffield United and Burnley and stuff being this really like solid unit and stuff, and we never actually talk about how good we are when we actually sit in and go, well, you break us down, then you actually try and beat us. We're obviously vulnerable on the counter-attack, as every team that tries to push forward as much as we do. But when we actually get in and sit in and we're all behind ball, nobody comes out of position, nobody gets giddy. We're quite happy they can have ball for 5-10 minutes and nobody's in a rush, in a pickle, and then centre-backs end up giving you it, or the hoof it to all the way through to Melier. That's seemed to be what we're happening. So that they run out of ideas as well. We're not really asking, when we've got all the ball, you're not asking them to do anything other than just defend, really. So it was quite interesting to see somebody with more possession and then to get 4 goals. And it was also made out that we were just catching them on counter-attack, which I don't think were true either. I think we were just really effective with I know we got them on the counter-attack also, but we were just really effective with the possession we had rather than having all of it and not really creating much. But yeah, it was mint. And that last goal, somebody said if that was a goal in like the 70s, it'd have been like, it'd have gone down in, there'd have been videos about it for it. It was literally like Tanaka is a joke in there. That's like a total joke. I know that would be music to Lockie's ears, but it was like ridiculous, because I thought at first, oh, he's just sort of trying to engineer something, or he might end up going backwards or whatever. But that's the forward ball that we're all on about, isn't it? Where he is going backwards, and then before you know it, he's turned. He's totally lost the lad. Puts it in Solomon, like you said. Solomon's feet are so good. He did it in first half as well. I don't know if that led to the goal where he put Aaronson through it. He beat a couple of players like so quick with his feet. He's so mint. I was really happy with Perau, however you say his name, when he played the ball through to James as well for second.
Perau, that's a new one.
Perisley. That's what I call him on channel, Perisley, because I've got no chance. Perau, Perisley. But yeah, that was a delicate pass to James, wasn't it? And it is a pass that that's not easy. He's got to get it bang on. He sets up James perfect. James is, when he's on it, isn't he, man? He's literally coming into his prime now. He is in beast mode.
Mate, if he'd have scored that one for the Hattie on the left foot.
Oh, I was gutted, man. I didn't want him to come off, but Farker's done the right thing. He had to come off, because what's the point? The game will won at that. And then when you start dragging them all on, when like Rothwell were coming on, Gilavogi didn't get his 40 seconds, which is a shame. But we got Rothwell on, Ramazani.
We've seen him now, mate. There's no more, regardless.
No, but 40 seconds.
I've seen him at Millwall. This game.
He needs his 40 seconds, Joe. Every game he needs his 40, 50 seconds.
Lucky charm.
Yeah, he was still there though, man. He was still leading the celebrations at the end. He's a good lad to have around, and look, his legs aren't where they probably once were when he was playing at his peak, but he's just a yard or two off it. But that could just be rustiness as well, to be fair, man.
He's a big boy, isn't he? But yeah, he's it's me.
Luke, get him in 10. Get him in 10.
Do you know what? I actually don't think he'd be that bad in there.
Not for 50 seconds. All right, for 40, 50 seconds.
You can't fucking defend anyway.
If we win the league, what's gonna happen? Remember that goal, like that Shackleton score at Pride Park? Gilavogi is gonna score 1 in the next day of the season for sure. That's a guaranteed. That's guaranteed.
It'd be class. Another just standout performance. Lockie, any thoughts, my man?
Oh yeah, it's like everyone else. I'm loving it. Honestly, that moment, Dan James, where he just closes that guy's down when he heads it. That defender must think, "Oh no, he's going to get this." And if he started gone in, that'd have been favourite football moment ever. Honestly, that was so good. He's just playing with
he's found a home. He's loving his football probably for the first time apart from maybe last year at times, for years. He's just loving it, and that's class. But yeah, I think the big difference between this year and last year is, even though we went on that unbelievable run, we kind of got 1-2-0 up last year and chilled out a bit, didn't we? We're not doing that now. We're going for it. Looking at 80th, 90th minute, we're still getting 5 or 6 guys forward to get a third and fourth. I love it. That's football.
Yeah.
And what we do so well is, Jack's right, you are at risk of countering. We get back so well. You know, I did with Gruev, and there's a scene where Gruev gets beaten and he sprints past almost everyone on pitch to get back into our shape. It's so good to see. And I think we're growing a bit of a reputation in league now. Every single manager after the game just admits, said they're too good. When have you ever really heard that? Even last year, some would say we're good. Some would say, yeah, we should have been better. Managers are just coming out and accepting that we're too good. I've never really heard it. Even Chris Wilder said it. You know, everyone's saying it. It's kind of weird, and I love it. We look really, really good. And long may it continue.
Can I ask you a question, Lockie? Like, what's really surprised me in the last 3 games in the league is this persistence with sort of like a high line or leaving too many spaces in behind for Leeds United. Like, what?
Yeah.
Because we're used to, in the early parts of the season, it was very low block, deep. You know, we're not going to come out, we're going to try catch on the counter, whatever. Whereas the others have seemed to have a goal, like Jack mentioned, Watford. I mean, I'm grateful of it, but like, it's going to be, because it's sort of bad, but I'm sort of grateful that we're going to be playing Sunderland and Sheffield United, because they're going to have to come and have a go and want to win. You know what I mean? It's the teams down the bottom that probably I'll struggle with a bit. But why do you not think it's a bit suicidal, I think, from the opposition managers, maybe?
Yeah, I agree. But I think the reason they do it, whether this is right or wrong, is, again, similar to what Bielsa used to say, and even Farke, that is how they play. They're not going to define their season based on the result against Leeds. Does that make sense? They know even if they sit deep, they'll probably lose the game. So what they're going to do is they're going to play the game they play for 40-odd other games that season. That's what they'll do. They'll keep working on that. Their loss against us ain't going to define their season. It's the other games. And they think playing the way they play, they can get the best results by playing the way they can. So that's all. That's probably why it is. Yeah, it is probably a bit suicidal. And we saw it in the Premier League at times where it worked for us and times where it didn't. That's who you are and that's who you play. Some managers are not like that. Some are pragmatic. They change in the game. Some just have a way of playing and they fully believe in it. And that's kind of the bit of a culture clash in the Prem at the moment with stuff like that. Do you change the way you play or stuff? So, yeah, that's probably why, mate. Yeah, whether it's right or wrong, that's what they do, I think.
Yeah.
What Leicester did last season against us twice, they were better, especially at Annan Road, but we won 3-1. But in the end, they went up. We didn't. So, like Lockie said, you know, it didn't defy their season, you know. But this season, I think another one of the differences is the midfield duo, honestly, because last season, for the large part of the second half of the season, you had Gruev and Kamara. This season, you have, Gruev now that he's returned, either him or Ampadu, but having Tanaka and Rothwell absolutely better in terms of what they can offer compared to Kamara, honestly.
Fair.
Going forward, especially in the offensive side of it.
Do you, because I was thinking, honestly, mate, it's got to a point now, Andrea, where like after games and even now, I'm like, we've all spoken. I'm like, right, what do we speak about now? But you have twigged something in me there. Obviously, Gruev being in midfield, and he's been impressive in the last 3 games that he's played in there. Strauker games come on, and I know he's trying to get up to it, but did look a little bit off it again yesterday, almost got caught out. Do you think we're in that position again where Ampadu's just going to keep his place alongside Rodon? Like, or is it still a case of we need to get Strout back in centre-back so Ampadu can go in midfield? Or because we have so many options now in midfield with Rothwell, Tanaka, Gruev, the manager might just keep it like this? Like, it's a difficult one.
It's a difficult one, but we've grown to know what Farke mentality is, you know, to how Farke operates. I don't think he'll change it if we keep winning. So you don't change a winning team. That says an old motto, you know. You know me. I think Ampadu is our best number 6. But right now, because Tanaka for me is 8, of course he can play. He has the same vision as a number 6, but he's more of all-around player compared to what Ampadu can offer, of course, and Gruev can offer. I like Ampadu a lot in the number 6 position, but so far he's not moving him out of the centre back pair, of course, because first and foremost, Strauch still needs time to get back to his best fitness. He's a little bit rusty. I agree with you in recent games with his cameos, you know. But I don't think he'll rush it because we keep winning, and with Ampadu at the back, so far he has more opportunity, especially in the second half in games, to play from the back in possession when sometimes he's a back three, you know. So it still works better this way for him, for Farke. Eventually, I would like to see, honestly, Strauch back with Rodon, because I think that's the select partnership. So far, they're not conceded Ampadu and Rodon, so it's okay to leave them as the centre back. But eventually, in the long term, I would like to see Strauch and Rodon with Ampadu in the 6 and Tanaka, because we saw so far that there's 2 starters, of course, but Rothwell is still playing a part. Gruev will eventually be able to play a part too, you know, because in the midfield department, you know, the midfield duo, we're absolutely fine. That's probably one of the best midfield depth in these 2 positions, the 6 and the 8, in Championship history, honestly, because you have Ampadu and Gruev in the 6 and Tanaka or Rothwell in the number 8, and both of them, Tanaka and Rothwell, of course. Rothwell struggles more on the defensive side of it, but both of them can easily play the 6 too in certain occasions. Rothwell in certain occasions, Tanaka can start as a 6 too, because they have great vision and they can be the all-around player, they playmaker from the back. So absolutely, I don't think it changes, but I get his point. But I still like Ampadu as more of as a number 6 than the centre back, you know. But he won't change it, honestly, and it's fair, honestly, in the end.
Yeah, wild streak in him though, Annie. Did you see that clearance he did yesterday when he just wellied it up in the air and said, like, just went to no, like, he just sometimes he has a bit of a brain fart, doesn't he? Like, he has got that. He has got that in him. But do you know what? I prefer him. I'm gonna go against the grain here. I prefer him at centre back. I just think him and Joe Rodon have got this telepathy that just works, man. And I know we struggled towards the end of last season with them both together, but we also went on that absolutely insane run last year with the 2 of them playing together. I just think when them 2 are confident, you know, they're just installed, because they're both leaders, aren't they? They're both Welsh, you know, they're proper gritty footballers that they set a platform from the back and the rest just do their shit.
Yeah. There's no coincidence for me that the partnership, when we had our problems, was after they all got knocked out of the thing for Wales. That's when the form dropped a little bit. Before that, nothing got past.
Great shout.
And they are, even Rodon this year, he looks a little more happier recently. If you look at it, he seems to be laughing a bit more, which is great. But I agree with Luke. The partnership is what it is for me. If it's Ampadu and someone else, I'm not too sure, but I really like that partnership.
Jackie nodding along, like, go on, Andrea. Sorry, before.
I think Ampadu recently has been also criticized, and I say unfairly, honestly, because I don't think he was bad. I've read some things online, you know, like judging him for a performance in a game, honestly, that doesn't define a season. I think he's been reliable. I think he's still able, like I said, to play out from the back with his vision, like he does in the 6. So I didn't get, honestly, the critics that he receives. And I'm saying this as a person that rates him more in the number 6 than in the centre back position. But I think you're absolutely right in the centre back position with Rodon, like we said, you know.
Yeah, I think Ampadu and Rodon is the best partnership at the club in the Championship. So that I can't get away from the fact I think Struick's probably a better central defender at literally defending when he's fully fit than Ampadu. But in terms of the way we play and we have so much of the ball and stuff, I think when we get to the Premier League next season, Andrea, we will need Struick in there defending because we're going to be up against it a little bit more. But while we've got plenty of ball, I think Ampadu and Rodon is the best partnership. That being said, I think that the glory that we have in front of them 2 with the 3 midfielders, if we take Gilavogi as well, that's 4. So with the 4 midfielders in front of us, you rotate 3 of them and then you get your 50 seconds out of Gilavogi. Ampadu doesn't need to go and fill that any hole at the moment. And when Struijk, Strout, Pascal's fully fit, I think he'll come back into the side when the time is right. I don't think there's any need to rush it. I think Ampadu and Rodon will maintain being the bosses that they are. But I think going forward, long term, but I don't really care about long term at the moment. I think Ampadu can have. He's played enough in centre mid as well for us. For when we go up to actually, he understands the role. It's not like we're starting again with him and he has to sort of like get partnerships going with whoever he's with, Tanaka or whoever he's with. So he's played with them all. So he understands that, spent a lot of time together as well. But I just think while we've got alt ball and controlling games, Ampadu's mint from centre-back position. He also does that anyway, don't they? They do that. They come in, they sit in when we're on the ball, and then it allows everybody to go out, like, we spread the ball out. So they go and they kind of go sitting centre back when we're on the ball anyway. So it's not that much of a difference.
Yeah.
It's obviously just structure.
Yeah, they do have a 3 at times, don't they? Gruevel dropping at left back or whatever.
Brilliant yesterday though. I actually think it's a difficult.
Such a player.
I think it's so difficult now, to be honest. I think if you don't keep rotating, do you know when like back in the day when teams used to have like 4 centre forwards and they'd all be firing, like when Man City had like Dzeko and Aguero and Balotelli and they all got like 10, 15 goals. I feel like that's what our midfield's like. And every time Rothwell comes in, he's just top quality. Every time Tanaka's in there, top quality. When Gruev comes in, it's like you haven't noticed that he's not played the last game. He comes into away game and it's like he's played all season. I feel like they're getting the most out of each other as well. It's like no messing about. It must be mint as well for each of them, really. Because if the competition in there is ridiculous at our side.
Yeah, you don't.
And they're all
realise
contributing, aren't they?
Really.
Yeah,
you don't realise you're missing them because everyone else is good. But like you said, when Gruev comes in, you go, "Oh yeah, he's really good as well."
Yeah, and you don't know what to do then. It's like, I sort of feel for him because how does he not start the next game? And I think although to be fair, we're going into some difficult games, he might start the next game. But Rothwell tends to be when the team's worse, we play Rothwell or when we're at home, don't we? So, but
I just think maybe with it being Sunderland, it might be different, mightn't it?
Yeah, I think it might be. Yeah, I don't think it's that defensive either, though. I just think I understand that they're the 6, and they are more defensive minded than Rothwell. But I don't think we talk as though Gruev comes on to like just anchor everything and just
it's crazy
stuff. And he's brilliant on ball. He's really sharp. So I don't think it's more defensive. I'd be lying if I didn't think it was. But I don't think it's negative. I still think it's positive football. Do you know what I mean?
I think the defensive side of Rothwell game's the weakest part of his game, though, right? Whereas Gruev, it's one of his stronger points. Do you know what I mean? Gruev's anticipation for defensive work, I think, is great. When he'll just nip in at the right time and take the ball away from an on-rushing attacker or whatever. I really like that from Gruev. So I think you're right. You're going up Enzo Lafitte, Chris Rigg, Joe Bellingham. I think Rothwell might get swallowed up by that, but whereas Gruev alongside Tanaka, but I think that's okay. But that's the great thing with Leeds United is that we have these options, right? Whereas last season it was we have to play Gruev and Kamara, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas we can switch it up. I think. Go on, Lockie. Sorry.
Yeah, it's weird the way you look at it. Depends on what you think of Gruev. Because for me, although he's a more defensive player, him being in there with Tanaka allows us to be more attacking because they're more solid. So there's less spaces to exploit if we lose the ball and they counter. So in a way, it counteracts that. I was looking at, like I said, I did a video earlier. I looked at some clips from the game, and there's one point where we have 6 of our attackers on their back line, and our midfielders are just sat really deep, and there's no one in midfield. And we're allowed that because we have Gruev and Tanaka there. If that's different, that Rothwell's in there, that's not really his type of position. He doesn't really understand the game like they do defensively. So in a weird way, him and Rothwell in there, him and Tanaka in there allows maybe an extra fullback to get forward, So yeah, I think Gruev's outstanding. I remember people say he'll never play for Leeds again.
Yeah, exactly.
I was one of them. I was one of them. I hold my hands up. Look, when I didn't say he wouldn't ever play again. I just didn't think he'd ever be able to battle his way back into that starting 11 when we saw Ampadu, Tanaka, and Rothwell, how good the 3 of those were between them. So I'll be honest, I didn't see it. I forgot how good he was for us and what he does bring to the team. It's a completely different dynamic to what any of the other three can bring. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we're blessed to be in the position we're in, because it has been a problem position for us over the years, certainly last year.
Yeah,
To be fair, Luke, I thought when again, it's like what Lockie just said, because we'd not seen him for a bit. I thought, how does he get back into this side? I did think that myself. I wasn't on the, that don't make him rubbish. It just means I don't know how he gets back in, and then he comes back in, and you're like, I don't know how you leave him out. It's like you say, it's just how we are in there. We're just stacked. They're all like 8, 9 out of 10 every game. It's excellent.
Yeah.
And
Can't remember the last time someone had a bad game, huh? Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from Millwall, obviously, but.
It's the first line of defense.
Joseph?
It's
Sorry,
the first line
actually, it's a good point. Yeah, sorry.
Gruev is the first line of defense, but his contribution on the offensive part of the game is really underrated, honestly, because if you look, the majority of his ball recoveries, even yesterday, when he recovers the ball, flash, one pass, Aaronson or the wingers, you're already on the attack. Full out attack, with those 4 players, the 9 and the 3 behind him, So his contribution with his ball recovery and the vertical passes that he makes are absolutely underrated in this team, honestly. He does a lot of the dirty work that goes unseen, honestly, even on the offensive side of the game.
Yeah, it's quality. It is. Really is quality. Honestly, boys, I run out of things to say about this team. Like right now, it's
name
mad.
an individual. Name any player.
You want me to just name someone?
Yeah, mate.
Eric Bakker.
Okay. No, but let's
Abibu.
I'll tell you what, and I feel like at some point I'm gonna have to get him on to discuss this, but we're gonna have to talk about Brendan. He seems to have one chief hater within the fan base that Luke knows very, very well, but. Again, I know he didn't really contribute goals and assists yesterday, but Brendan was different gravy again yesterday. I
Unbelievable. The work rate he gets through. I mean, and people are saying that's all he does. It's not all he does at all. I mean, the work he does allows Joel Pirro to not necessarily rest, but have a bit of a break now and then. And it also lets Dan James have a bit of a break now and then. And do you know what? He's just like a little wasp, isn't he? He just doesn't go away. And look, he's lightweight. Yeah, we know he's built like a Rizzler paper, and he's not the strongest footballer in the world, and he goes down a bit too easy, and it's frustrating with some of his final balls and whatever else. But you take him out of this team, this starting 11, and we become a completely different side. Trust me.
Yeah, I
he's
agree.
He's so good at finding spaces. So good at it. He's so underrated. Everyone assumes when he gets the ball, it's the pass, it's the movement that's made him available, and there's never anyone around him. And he's always, as Andrea said earlier, every time he gets it, we always seem to be on their goal because his movement is so good. He's unmarkable. Of course, there's frustration in the final third, but if talking about yesterday, I thought his final ball was very good. The James assist, great pass through, and then he should have had another one earlier on. So for me, he is key. I think the one game he's not been in this season was against Millwall in the cup. I know everyone was bad in that, but he weren't there and we were bad. I think he's so key. I really do. He's not... Yeah. The thing about the 10 role is that I think it's different in the Farke team to the traditional. I really do. It's not really a technical role. It's someone that works hard. That's usually the guy, usually big physical guys, but this is more physical in Aronson's. He runs around more. So for me, he's doing excellent. I think he's a key part of this team. I do believe that.
Yeah,
he can improve.
Yeah,
obviously, but yeah.
No, he's really intelligent. I was looking what's happened to Luke. It looks like the meeting he's frozen now.
No, Luke, are you aware you've gone dark?
Looks like the meeting of the Death Eaters in Harry Potter, when they do Voldemort arrive at the start of the 7th movie.
I think he's froze as well.
All dark is a Malfoy manor, No, I was saying Aaronson is really, really intelligent because when he signed for Leeds, it was like. Right, like one of Marsh's favorites. It was a Marsh signing because, of course, he managed him at RB Salzburg. But actually, the manager that developed Aaronson, because if you look at his performances, the Aaronson of the start of the season is not the Aaronson, the present Aaronson. So it's also a lot of credit down to Farke for me how he developed him this season, because I think, apart from, of course, the season at RB Salzburg, he's playing the best football in his career, because he's finally more aware of what he needs to do in that specific role. He doesn't need to drift away on the wing. He needs to stay central, go from side to side in the final third, go back to get the ball. And like we were saying with Lockie, you know, when he has space in front of him, right now he's more efficient, more concrete. He usually makes the right choice at the right time. And when he has space in front of him, he masters it. He's absolutely the pivot. Luke said before going to the meeting with you-know-who, you know, he said that it's a different team with Aaronson and without Aaronson, you know. Absolutely true, because he's the pivot and the playmaker in our final third. And of course, we're a wing play team, but the majority of opportunities created by switching the sides or getting the ball to Pirot, it's down to passes between Tanaka and Aaronson, or movement of Tanaka and Aaronson in that specific area of the pitch, you know.
I'd be interested to know what somebody that doesn't like him, what they don't like about him, because the problem is with people that don't like him, you say like, well, he works really hard, because that's again one of the first things that you go to, like Gruev, like defensive work, that's his primary thing. So that, you know, so he sort of Aaronson gets pigeonholed as though he offers nothing on the ball and he just closes everybody down. It's like, you'd never in a million years get to this level in this side. You know, there'd be anybody else that could just, you know, do the 10 role if that were the case. I don't even think he's that frustrating. I don't think it's that much of a coincidence how everybody used to say last year that Rutter were frustrating. So it's obviously something to do with they're getting a lot of the ball in good areas, aren't they? And you're not going to, if he's delivering every single time, then it is going to be Cardiff every week, isn't it? He's not, I don't think he's that frustrating, to be honest. There's obviously like little wayward balls and stuff, but I just don't think sometimes I think he could be a little bit more selfish and actually try like more difficult passes. I think he's quite keen on just, he turns on ball, he gets going, he sees James and Solomon go, and he just gives them it. He just, you know, he don't always.
Did he give it to Pirot when he was literally? He could have had a shot. I think it might not be. I can't remember. It was the other end of the field to us, and he was literally almost 1-on-1, and he could have taken a shot, and instead he passed it, and I think we got a corner out of it. Something, but I completely agree.
I just mean even like around halfway line, he turns and he's instantly thinking, right, who are the best attackers at the club? Do you know what I mean? And I know that won't be his thought process, but Solomon and James must love him. Because, you know, like I loved Rutter. Do not get me wrong. Rutter's obviously a better footballer than Aaronson, particularly on the ball. But, you know, Rutter would go and he must be more frustrating to play with, because you'd think, I'm not going to get the ball every time. Every time Aaronson turns, you'd think, I'm going to sit off here because he's going to go either to me or to Solomon. It's going to, and then that's when cross balls start coming in and stuff. And he's chipped in with plenty of goals. So I don't get it. I honestly don't.
You know what?
Yeah.
You're so right. It went like, look at a Tanaka or an Ampadu or a centre-back or a full-back even. Most of the time they get the ball, it's in deeper situations. Every time he gets it, he's in the final third. So he's almost got to create every time. And that's obviously you'll lose the ball more because you're in a high-stress situation. You can't relax on the ball. He's got to make a decision quickly almost every time. So you are going to get inconsistencies there. And the ones that don't have inconsistencies there are playing in the top of the Premier League or for Real Madrid. This is the difference. This is why that role is such a hard role to pin down. But for me, he's improving a lot. Other side of his game, like Andre said, Farke mentioned in the press, he wants him to stay more central. He's doing that, and we can see why. Because look at the spaces now we have done. It's a joke. He's developing into a really good footballer, and I'm just happy to see like everyone playing really well.
I have a tough question, honestly. That's I'm gonna ask you, you know, because it's going on, keep rolling on in my mind, you know, and it's not based on talent, but in terms of how we play football and efficiency. Do you prefer Somerville, Rutter, and James, or Solomon, Aaronson, and James? Comparing this back three behind the 9, you know, that's tough, honestly. But I know my answer.
I think for me, I think that the latter this season, I think gives us far more balance, and we're less reliant on individual brilliance, shall we say? I think, and I don't want to take anything away from how good Somerville and Rutter were to watch for us, and Rutter were to watch for us last season, because we saw some absolutely stonking stuff at times, didn't we? But I think on balance, I think Aaronson is far. Rutters wasn't a 10, was he? Look, we put him there because we had nobody else to play there, and we bought him as a 9. He played as a winger when he was out in wherever we signed him from, Germany, and he wasn't a 10, and we tried developing him into a 10, and it sort of worked to an extent. But the things that he didn't do and couldn't do are the things that Aaronson can do. You know, and I think with Somerville we became over reliant because of his obvious ability, and I just think it just brings far more balance to the 11.
I think
having that for those 3.
That 3 gets more out of the rest of the squad as well.
Agreed.
Like
more movement.
Like mentioned the balance and everything. Like just
you knew
the
Somerville
whole
was
way
going to
that
pick the ball up on the left wing every time, and he knew what he was going to do. He was going to cut inside.
Or Rutter would turn and beat 3 or 4 players, and then it would create an opening. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I think Aaronson works a lot better with the wingers than Rutter did with the wingers, if that makes sense. Rutter was a better player. Like, obviously, Rutter's unbelievable. If we kept Rutter, probably 10 points more clear. But I think, as Luke said, the balance is better. I think Aaronson and Pirro have a better understanding. I think Rutter and Pirro play too close at times, and they'd often get in each other's way. Pirro and Aaronson just know exactly where each other are. They know exactly where to go. So from that perspective, individually, obviously, I want Somerville and Rutter to play. But as a team, we just look so much better. And it obviously helps when you've got Tanaka and Bogle that you've added in there as well.
Yeah.
But and this Dan James
player.
this season, I know he was really good last year, Dan James. He had a few injuries. But this season, he's even better.
I think it comes down to being selfish again, genuinely, and that's not knocking Rutter or Somerville, but I think they were a lot more selfish than any of these lads that we've got in front line are now. I think what Lockie's just said about Peru and Aaronson they're getting out of each other's way because they don't want to affect each other's game. It's like Aaronson will take that hit, and I don't think Rutter would have, and that's not a criticism of Rutter because he's obviously trying to affect the game in every single which way that he can. And he knows he's probably the best player on the pitch, the most technical. And so it is just like, get out of my way. But when you're playing in a team like Farke's side that just controls games and stuff, you do need to know your roles. Even Guardiola's Barcelona, there's stories, isn't there, that Henry said where he was dragging Henry off because he went off wandering, try to go get ball. It's like, no, I don't care how good you are. You don't do that. And Somerville, very much the same, and it's got him to where he's at. So it's truly not a criticism of them lads because they were brilliant. But I think we would have, if they could have played the role. Like Solomon doesn't seem like a big timer. He's quite happy with the assistant, And Somerville, I didn't feel like he was. I felt like it was very all about him, and that is totally fine. He's gone on now. You do need that in you a little bit. You need plenty of selfishness if you're going to get loads of goals. But in terms of the actual team, if they would have done what Aaronson, Solomon, and obviously James were there last year, if they were doing what they did, what these lads are doing this year, I think they would have obviously been a better front line because I think individually they're better players. But unfortunately,
you make a great point when you was talking about they offer more to the team and stuff. Genuinely, the thing I had in my head before you spoke, Jack, is Solomon's 2 goals for Fulham against where he scored 1 against us in the FA Cup and 1 the week before in the league for Fulham. And I've still, every time he picks it up on the left and he cuts in on his right, I'm expecting him. Is this going to be the week where he whips it into top bins? And he never does. He never even attempts, really. Whereas that's what you're talking about. Like, I even think yesterday in the build-up to Pirro's goal, if that is Somerville, and again, it's not a criticism, probably tries to dig a shot out. I think Nonto can be guilty of that when he comes on. I got frustrated at him when he hit that strike at Cardiff, but it went in. Do you know what I mean? So you go, all right, okay, fair enough, because I'm thinking this isn't going in, and it did. But I hear what you're saying. Like, there is a good point you make because honestly, every time it's gone, I think this is the game where he just whips it in top bins and he just doesn't bother. He just moves it on. And like you said, the unselfish nature between James and Solomon's crazy. They just look for each other at the back post every time. Whoever's got it goes, right, I know you're going to be arriving. It's like they don't even need to look up. So, yeah, and a lot of that is Farke, training pitch, scripted movements. I always remember Parker used to say that about Bielsa, didn't he? But that's what it's about. You do something enough, it just becomes second nature. You just know where people are going to be on the football pitch. Is that
test? Sorry, just really quickly, Lucky, before I forget, because I'm a bit tired. Is that testament to how Farke's adapted how we set up this season? Do you think? Because we have changed. We're not playing the same style of football we played last season. It's quite apparent to anybody who watches it that we are playing different football. Yeah, we're still controlling games. We're still keeping possession where it can be, but we're almost taking additional risks where probably we wouldn't have done at this time last season, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Actually, Luke, similar. Like, I think to back Somerville a little bit, we as a team became too reliant on him. You know, I think that didn't help. And even look, Farker said it. Angus Kinnear came out on the square wall and said we were too reliant on Somerville. Everyone knew it. So this season, I think Farker, when we've recruited, he wants players who he knows are not necessarily going to get the crazy numbers Somerville's going to get, but can really help the team. And God, I'm a bit confused. Solomon is an excellent player on the ball. He won't get the numbers Somerville did. But what he will do is he just brings so much, doesn't he? We all know that his passing's really good, his movement's excellent. He's really hard to mark because he'll just do a 1-2. You know, he can take you on or do a 1-2. So yeah, I agree with what Luke said. We have changed. It also helps, and look, I love Archgreat a bit, but Jayden Bogle in the final third is a different beast in it. Let's be honest, than anyone in this league. So that helps when you've got another option attacking. Junior Firpo's playing really well, so Tanaka in there doing a bit more as well. So we look a lot better. And I honestly, I do think, imagine if we did have Somerville this year, you know, he's learned from last year and we had a Tanaka and others in L, but it is what it is. I'm happy with what we've got.
I remember getting absolute pelters from the Blades fans, when they signed Gilchrist and we took Bogle. They were like, he only played 7 games for you this season and he's been absolutely brilliant, hasn't he?
Do you know Gilchrist? He's dropped. They're playing Harry Clark now, aren't they? They brought Harry Clark in from Ipswich, so yeah. There you go.
That's why don't judge a player what other fan bases say. Watch him first. Because everyone was saying he can't defend. He's been able to defend for the last 3 or 4 months. He's not wrong defensively.
Yeah,
his recovery runs are fucking immense as well. Sorry, Andre.
It was the broken heart speaking for the Sheffield United fans. You know, they were a little bit bitter. But even Ampadu, you know, when we signed Ampadu, there were people saying, "Why are we signing a player that's got relegated the last 3 seasons?" You know.
Yeah, because it's important. What some fans don't seem to understand, it's important to put these players in a decent side.
Yeah,
you know, who's going to be good in that side? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
It's not. Can you imagine some players that fall by wayside that are like, you know, I don't know, playing for Luton who are bottom at league now that are genuinely decent footballers, and they're just playing it, and it's just so bad. It's like it's not a reflection on every single player in that side. Is it individually? It's just awful. Just the same as. We've possibly got some players that when we get to Premier League, we'll be like, oh, hang on a minute, this is a step too far from like we found with Bielsa's side. It's like, you know, which is the same thing. It's like we're in a really good side, in a really quality league, and we're far and away the better team. But then when we go up, the players that will begin to get exposed a little bit more, just naturally. And then you go, well, are they now not good? Do you know what I mean? They're all finding the level, aren't they? And some of them are just in terrible sides. Bogle's in a far better side who is built round him now. Him and Firpo are a joke going forward. A total joke.
It's like Rothwell as well, to an extent. Southampton fans, when we bought him, were saying he came for half season for us and he scored a few goals, but he hadn't played. I mean, I know he's not in the team now, but that's not for him. That's just because what Farker wants. But he's been excellent for us, hasn't he? Apart from maybe the first 1 or 2 games, he were great. Got up to speed. He's been outstanding. And he even said, Rothwell, he played a more defensive role at Southampton. Farker's playing the players where they're best. And that's what's great about it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I do want to, I don't know how we've managed to get 49 minutes out, but and I keep banging this drum until he's got it. But Pirro again yesterday, he's on 20 G&A now. He got another assist yesterday, right? Which is, he's on par now with his Swansea season in 21-22 for assists where he got 6. So he's never got more than 6 assists in a league campaign. So again, it's just another like props to Farker, because if we look at the Pirro that we had last season who was playing in the 10 and we're all got used lads, said it before he came, he don't fit our system. We're seeing a totally different Pirro. We have to give a lot of love to Pirro for doing that and showing that, and you know, holding off Joseph, who started the season. I think all us fans were happy with Joseph starting the season, and he's scoring goals, and now he just looks different. The goal man, and he's on 20 G&A. There's still 14 games left of this season to go, and the way Leeds are scoring at the minute, he could end up being the top scorer. I think there's only Boy Signs ahead of him, isn't he? And He's back though now for Norwich, so that we'll have to wait and see. But I'd love Pirot to get top goal scorer because I think he's been quality the last few weeks.
Again, I think we've got to tip the hat to Aaronson as well.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
because he's getting as was it? I think it was Lockie mentioned about giving him that. Was it you, Andre? I can't remember, about giving him that extra space and almost Pirot doesn't really need to do much else but float around and be in the right places at the right times, and which is what he's good at.
Yeah,
Playing to his best. Playing to his best. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's when last year we didn't find the way to get the best out of Joel Pirot. Right now, in the last few months, we have, and all he's doing, and it's so simple. Honestly, it's simple stuff. Just 1-2 touches, no more. Comes into a space, gives it, goes back, and then when we're in the final third, get behind that defender, that centre back, and we'll thread one through for you. And that's where his goals are coming from. And that goal, by the way, then the feet showing that he's got a bit as well. Yeah,
it was nice, isn't it?
He tries that quite a bit, you know, that same move if you watch it. It doesn't come off very often, and but it's good, man. I like to see that, especially in the 6-yard box.
You know, Pollock just slide past him. He just rolls in.
Sent him for an hot dog, didn't
he? Yeah, Pollock, he had a stinker yesterday, didn't he? It was great.
Got to put it down to Farker as well, just quickly, Joe. Yep. That's on Farker as well. You know, he's made the change because obviously wasn't sure if he was going to back Peru himself, and then he gets Joseph to start, and then he does switch it up when he realizes. Well, not when he realizes, because I'm sure he's aware of his quality, but he's stuck by him when he's gone through a bit of a dry patch, and he's he's now getting the most out of him. That's why I really think we're on the charge. The squad feels like it's completely clicked together. I can't find a position. Even Melier, who you would have said a few weeks ago, you know, he's obviously the weak link. I don't think he's out of woods yet with it all, but you know,
another good game yesterday though.
And I just mean, like, if you had to pick a position at the moment, that would be the only one. And he's been brilliant past few games. So there is not a position in the side, even off the bench. I know we're still short at 10, but you know, we've just been waxing lyrical about how much we need Aaronson in there. So nobody else will be getting a sniff anyway, by the sounds of it.
Do you reckon when we were linked with a striker in January, do you reckon Pirot took that personally and thought, I'm going to show
looks like it, doesn't he? Because he had a few quiet games leading up to that, you know. Yeah, actually gets linked and then bang, 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 you know? Yeah.
Love it.
It's quality to see. Just to finish up, lads, Reese P says, slightly concerning every rival won. Is anyone concerned by that, or did you expect it? Like, I'm not concerned.
In my head, Joe, they're going to win every week. Like, so,
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I think. I can't help it.
Yeah.
So, no, whatever for me.
Look, it won't be games. I thought Middlesbrough would be sticky for them. I thought that'd be a decent game, and it was for a bit. And then they pulled away, and you know, you look at the scoreline and you think, well, you know, they beat them easy. But you know, I mean, you watched the full game, didn't you, Joe? I just tuned in at 1-1, thinking, oh, hang on, I'll watch them drop some points.
There's something here. And
then they started banging goals in, but it'll be somewhere else. We're going to drop some points as well. So we're all gonna slip up at some point, and I just think they'll slip up more than us. I just can't see us. I can't see us losing, and I genuinely can see them losing. And I know that's you'd probably say that's just a bias thing, but it ain't. And Burnley certainly, you know, like, you can't keep drawing games like that.
No,
one of them will turn into losses. And even if they don't, if they carry on drawing, they're not going to be nowhere near us. So
we've got our goal difference. Our goal difference is nearly equal to second and third combined.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. And the facts are as well, on Monday, like, the thing is, Sheffield United play Saturday. They're away at Luton. Luton are now bottom of the league. We expect Sheffield United to win, right? Sheffield United will go above us. And then that will really set the cat amongst the pigeons within the fan base. But ultimately, if we beat Sunderland on Monday night, we put 10 points between us and them. You know what I mean? So there's and then the week after we get to play Sheffield United, do you know what I mean? And then there's another opportunity to put some further gaps. So it's well in our hands. We've got West Brom, and then, like I say, I'm actually more concerned because Sheffield United, Sunderland, they have to win. West Brom have to win because they're in the playoffs and they lost tonight to Blackburn. They want to, cling on. And the way Mowbray plays, they'll come and have a go. So these are games that, as fans, we should be up for and excited for. The ones I'm nervous about are your QPRs, your Plymouths, these that'll be fighting for their lives towards the end of the season. You know, I mean, Plymouth battered Millwall tonight 5-1. It was brilliant to see. So big up to them. I know Andrea won't like to answer this question, but Sonny says, can we get the points record? If we don't drop 5 points, we will get it. I think there's like 39 points available. If we get like 35, we get the points record, something like that. Are you thinking about that? Yeah, are we thinking about that, or is it a case of like just fucking?
If it happens, it
90
happens.
points?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
I think the team is capable of getting the record. Honestly,
Mm.
I'm not
they're
sure we'll
capable.
achieve that, but I think our goal. I mean, what's the best ever goal difference? Genuinely, because
true.
unless it's just this year,
Well, I
because
think
we're so far away from. I know ours is
we're
plus 49, isn't it, ever or something?
yeah we're on par with 21-22, which is our best. Well, bearing in mind we were formed in 20, so if one more goal difference in our thing means it's the best goal difference ever for Leeds United
But how can we
this
not get
season.
that?
Yeah,
Unless
exactly.
unless we
That's what I mean.
collapse, we're not going to start
Yeah, exactly.
losing
Yeah,
3 4 nils, are we? So we're definitely going to
Yeah.
achieve that.
Yeah. There we go. 42 available, and we need 38. So what is that?
I
A
think
loss
that's a
and
big
2
ask,
draws or something? Yeah, no, I agree, mate. Because the thing is, as well, if you get a gap, then naturally, subconsciously, the lads drop off a little bit, and you might be playing a Luton or a Derby or whatever, and they're fighting for their lives, and it's just all it
There's
takes
just
in
got to be an
football is that.
horrible game. There's
Yeah,
going to be a couple of horrible games where you just go, that is awful. And there's just no way we can. This cannot carry on. Do you know what I mean? I mean, maybe it can. But there'll be a game, and I say it all the time, where we're 60 minutes in, and we think, here we go, it's one of them. This.
Yeah, exactly.
The main race absolutely is, for me at least, it's with the third place team. You know, it need to be a large gap. I just care about getting promoted, and when we get the automatic promotion, you know, once you get there, then you can start thinking about, of course, the championship, the league, of course, and then the record. I think the team is good enough to try to get that record. Honestly, the way we're playing, my main concern is not the rivals, but the international break of March. You know, because it will break our momentum, that one, and we'll need to see how we react. And I don't want to see any injuries or players absolutely.
Well, all the Ipswich team pulled out last year, didn't they? If you remember, Morsey and all that. You know, they all pulled out from their internationals.
I think the Wales lads couldn't because they had a competitive game, didn't they? If you remember, it was competitive. This time it's just friendlies. Yeah, it was a final playoff, weren't it?
That's right.
So this year we might see that where they go, I've got a little knock or whatever. Hopefully, anyway. Let's hope.
The Welsh lads are proud out there. They're not Turks or Egyptians or whatever. Do you know what I mean? They'll be wanting to play for their country, I think.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. With that. World Cup qualifiers in March. All right. Okay. So is it qualifiers, Steve? I thought it was actually just friendlies. To be honest,
I think it's Nations League. Honestly, it's
Nations League. Yeah. Sack the nation.
It's a glorified friendly, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Not for us. Italy, Germany. So it's never a friendly. It's never a friendly, that one.
Never. Oliver says, shout out for Lockie's latest video. If everyone wants some analysis on how we play and press so well, then it is worth 20 minutes of your time. It's a feel-good video.
Oliver.
We're fucking good. Yeah, a lot of love. So go check out that video, folks. Make sure that's the last thing you do tonight. It's getting on a bit, isn't it? It's 11:05. We've managed to squeeze literally an hour out of it, folks, which is mad. We should want to talk about this all the time, but when you're this good, you run out of things to talk about. So, yeah, but we're just fucking ace. That's the facts. We're ace. And, boys, I'll tell you what, we'll finish up with just some quick score prediction for Monday night against Sunderland. I think we win. We're at home. We owe them one. I think they'll score 3-1 Leeds. Andrea?
3-1 Leeds.
3-1?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. Good man. Luke?
2-1 Leeds.
Jack?
I agree with Luke. Yeah, I think 2-1 Leeds.
Nice. And Lockie?
1-1.
Oh,
You know,
Would you
go
take that
big
point?
Rocky, and I go,
Yes.
I'm doing that thing where if I envision we're not going to win and then we win, I'll be even happier.
okay.
Yeah. A
Helps
couple
me
of things,
through the
Joe.
week.
Just before you do hang up, this side of
Hang
the panel tonight look like they're all both auditioning to be like Johnny Depp stunt doubles. You got don't they? You've got
What,
Lucky who looks
in
like
Edward Scissorhands?
Edward Scissorhands, and then you got Captain Jack Sparrow down there.
Edward
must say,
Scissorhands is a
Joe,
great shout, I do.
I
Go
must
on.
say, Joe, you're looking a lot younger today. What have you been up to?
Fuck off.
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah,
Good
it's
sleep,
good, you
Joe,
know, man.
recently.
Yeah, I'm a
ADV
bit
time.
tired, but
ADV time. ADV
yeah,
time.
it's gonna look mad.
Hashtag ADV.
Yeah. I know the Botox is in as well, lads. You know, so like in about 3 days, it'll look even better. Yeah, man. It's cool,
Like
isn't it?
Jackie Stallone by tomorrow, won't he?
Joe
Imagine.
decided.
Yeah, Jack.
Look like Danny Mills now.
Yeah. Well, Andre was in the group chat, said Joe started doing makeup adverts. I was like, it's not makeup, bro. Anyone wants me doing a makeup adverts, though, hit me up. It is. Next is your teeth. Nah, I don't fancy no turkey teeth, to be honest, mate. I'm all right for that. I think I'm all right. Yeah, man. I think we'll leave it at that. Boys, any thoughts of getting any work done? Luke laughs, right? Luke's taking the piss, but he was straight in DMs going, "What's that, mate? Where do you get that from?"
Lad, that wasn't quite like that, was it?
A few of my mates messaged my brother, started taking the piss, and then he messaged me and went, "Go on, then, tell me what about it, man." Yeah. Anyway, yeah, listen, folks, go check out amazing podcast. Ought to know better, apart from Gilly's takes on Brendan Aaronson. But also, they're also mad as well. So, like, listen to it because there should be like thesis done on it. Because I'm like, I
called him
don't
a
get
forward
it, man.
earlier. He called him a forward. Like he was calling him a forward, and he's obviously playing number 10, CAM, central attacking mid. The clue's in the name, midfielder. And he was so yeah. Anyway, it got a bit wild, but yeah. Luckily, I haven't been on with him yet for a while because he's gonna get it.
We've got Jack C. Please go check that out. What day is it? It's Wednesday. Your live's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah,
Thursday.
man.
Jack City. We found that as well. Forget Kendrick Lamar halftime show. There might be a football match soon. Jack's been picked to do the halftime show there with
Only
with
by
Joe,
you,
I
in
think.
fairness, Joe. You're making out as well. That's not in demand.
Yeah, mate, that's all we need. It's all we need. Check out Lucky Leeds. Oliver's already told you, always doing top content, and of course Andrea, everyone's favourite Italian stallion. So yeah, all good in the hood. Thanks everybody for watching the channel. I'm knackered now. Tomorrow will be White Rose Rivals, and I think that might be a lot, to be honest. Have a nice chiller because we don't play till Monday, do we? So yeah, check that out. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you in a bit. Good night.